Welcome to part 14 of Pokémon Yellow. We've finished up with the Saffron Gym and we're gonna be going, just generally heading towards Fuchsia City now, which I think I'm pronouncing Fuchsia City right. I have never been entirely sure about the word fuchsia.
Fuchsia.
Fuchsia, is it?
Pretty sure, because the way you're pronouncing it makes it sound like it's got a T in it.
Yeah, I guess. I'm not good at talking. I don't know if you figured that one out after so long of working with me on these, but yeah.
I haven't thought about this before, but the Pikachu follows you around because it doesn't like being in the ball, similar to the one in the anime, but where does Pikachu go when you get on your bike?
On my shoulder. No, just shove it in the bag.
No, because Rowlet's got the bag now.
Oh yeah, that's the grass one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I kind of like that, although I'm trying to think of the other Gen 7 ones. You got Litten, which is my pick, and what was the other one? Poplio, yeah, that looks a bit silly, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of endearing.
In a way, like I think it looks like it's what should evolve into Samurott.
Yes.
Because Samurott is nothing like fucking Oshawott, is it? I don't know how you get from that to Samurott. But anyway, Snorlax. What do we think of Snorlax?
I like it.
Is he pretty good competitively?
He's a bit of attack.
Yeah, high defence, isn't it?
High defence. Well, good defence, high health, good attack. Alright, special defence, I think. I mean, it can learn amnesia, so it can increase that further.
I think everyone likes him from the anime, don't they? And just like, I remember watching Pokemon Origins the other day, and like he did a hyper beam for his eyes. Yeah,
I love that. Yeah,
it was amazing.
That's brilliant. No wonder it keeps its eyes closed. Otherwise, all the power that will be unleashed.
Cyclops from X-Men,
Yeah.
something like.
Oh, that's a point. Imagine accidentally waking him up.
Yeah.
God damn, like, if you've got a Snorlax that isn't particularly a morning guy, then
Yeah.
god damn, like...
Yeah.
Shoots a plane out of the sky or something.
Just like, come on, Snorlax, wake up. Oh no.
Oh no. Yeah, but Ash caught his one in the Orange Islands, which... That's one of the few memorable things from the Orange Islands, aside from the film. Because the Orange Islands arc, Stephen, what do you think of that arc?
Never watched it.
You missed nothing.
So I'm assuming it was in comparison to that of the adventures in Unova.
It was a little bit more interesting than Decalore Islands, I'll give it that. Admittedly, that is not praise at all, because Decalore Islands was like fucking monotonous, but Orange Islands, it was just one of them sort of nothing happened sort of arcs. Like Ash caught Snorlax and that's about it. But yeah, it was also where a good few of these sort of gimmicky episodes came about. Like the Pokemon on the Orange Islands have slightly different colorations, and like I think that's where there were some of these like pink Rhyhorns and shit, and that was also I think where the Crystal Onyx episode came from.
Yeah, you just went past the sign that tells you to throw Pokeballs instead of the game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's important advice, because like, if you throw your Game Boy at someone, then you're not going to catch them, are you? Just a thought.
So that's why it hasn't been working for me.
Yeah, that's why nobody talks to you, Stephen.
Damn it. I always thought that if I threw stuff at people, they would talk to me. Instead, they just run away, calling the police.
Yeah, and they took my Game Boy with them.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
What an arsehole!
Yeah. But yeah, now we're in Fuchsia City, and honestly, with how these ramps are set up, it can get a little bit annoying to navigate, because you see we've got the gym there, and we've got the Pokemon Center here. But if you start walking around and you want to get back to the Pokemon Center, you've got to go the long way round the back.
Yeah.
It's annoying. And yes, I know that is a very me thing to bitch about. I have to take maybe a minute at most extra just to get to where I want to go. But you know how I am.
It's just inconvenient for the sake of being inconvenient.
Pretty much, yeah. I forget what I'm even doing. Probably just moving some shit around. This is a point. The box system before Gen 3 was a pain in the fucking ass.
Yep.
Stephen, do you want to explain the differences?
In this, if you want to change to another box, the game will save. And you cannot catch any Pokemon if the box you're on happens to be full up. So, you will have to change the box, then continue to catch a Pokemon.
Yeah, it's annoying if you're out on the field, like, even if you're in somewhere like the Safari Zone where you're going to be catching a lot of things, where it gets to a point where you fill your box, you might not have realised that you're filling your box, and then you can't catch any more until you've been back to the Pokemon Center, you've fucked around with this, and yeah, it's just the sort of thing that, like, I know that it's an early generation, I know that these games are very primitive compared to later ones, but still, is that not something they could have looked at a workaround for early on?
The worst thing would be if you get something good come up and then you, like, boxes full.
Yeah, like, or if you're in Gen 2 and you encounter a shiny and...
Oh god, that'd just be the worst.
The thing that's fascinating with Gen 2 is that because they have the Pokegear system, when your box is starting to get a bit full, Bill will phone you to let you know. So that means they've got ways to distinguish that the box is nearly full. So rather than fixing that particular problem and letting it roll over onto the next box, they instead just give you a notification to go and do it yourself. But, come on.
Well, at least that's in the past now.
It is, yeah. It was Gen 3 when I think it was Lynette, the box creator. I think that was her name. But yeah, that was when they brought in that if you fill a box, it'll just roll over onto the next one. You don't need to worry about it. But still, yes, I am getting another fishing rod. But I don't need because I don't really need any other fucking water types. I have fucking water.
Yeah, in Sun and Moon, I think they've removed the 3 types of fishing rods.
Didn't they do that as early as Black and White?
No, you could. Pretty sure you could still get the old Good and Super rod.
I think it was a previous one. I think it was earlier than Sun and Moon. It might have been Gen 6 where they took out the rods, because I remember that being a thing people talked about a while back. But yeah, Goldeen, do we need this?
Not really. It's
I mean,
not a Seeking.
No, it does evolve into fuck yeah Seeking, but I can't actually remember if I encounter a fuck yeah Seeking in this one. I hope I do, but I don't think I did. Which is a shame because I love fuck yeah Seeking. Fuck yeah Seeking is one of them memes that, like, I don't even know if it has a proper origin other than someone thought it might be funny.
Well, it's a good thing it did turn out to be funny.
Yeah, because otherwise you'd look like a bit dumb.
Especially since there's a photo that's a bit of some heat-seeking missiles, so...
What's that?
Someone's photoshopped an image of some missiles and then put Seeking at the end of them.
Okay.
So you've got heat-seeking missiles.
Ah, clever. I see what they did there. But yeah, I still think the Tsunami Fuck Yeah Seeking is like one of the funniest ones. It's just this massive crash of water with a Seeking riding it. I think that is the original Fuck Yeah Seeking. I like that they named the Safari Zone manager Slowpoke because he looks really distant. But yeah, they're making fun of him because he seems like he has a speech problem. What we'll find out later on is it's because he's lost his teeth, and the quest we'll be going on when we go to the Safari Zone is to retrieve said teeth, which isn't gross at all. No, that's the thing though, you lose your teeth on the ground, and then
Do you want them back?
Do you want them back? And do we want to pick them up to take them back? But yeah, they've got these little displays at the front. I like Voltorbs over World Sprites.
So you walk past it and you think, why is there an item in an enclosure?
Yeah, I'm going to go walk through Water Treat. I would love it if you put walk through Water Treat in and it's just like they've left an item on the floor and thought, fuck it. I remember back in the day with Pokemon Diamond, I tried fucking around with walk through Water Treats. The amount, like, how far you can get past where the screen cuts off is quite fascinating, because some places, like, it cuts off straight away. Other places you just spend ages just walking through this entire forest of trees where nothing happens. And it's also something you can do to get to the hidden islands and that, where the legendaries are, because they're still all on the map.
Yeah.
And I think some of them are linked to the Elite Forums. You can walk through the walls from the Elite Forums and walk over to a fucking island or something. They're programmed to the maps to link together. So this is something I used to find fascinating. Back in the day, both fucking around with Action Replay, walking through walls, looking at the maps, exploring the maps and that, and also just playing around with the Pokémon Essentials for RPG Maker kit, which is actually a really good bit of kit that basically someone's put together this little Pokémon engine that runs in RPG Maker. This was a long time ago, back when I used to do it, I think about 2006, 2007 sort of time, and there's still people who are making use of that same kit now that's being updated and whatnot. If you're interested in, obviously it functions differently to the Pokemon games, but if you're interested in the logic behind how these games work, it's good. It's fascinating just to have a play with, just to instigate battles, to play around with the PBS files that come with it, which are text files that you just fill in the training information and then put a flag on the map in RPG Maker just to trigger it, and just playing around with the map design and whatnot. It's a lot of fun just to play with.
What's it called?
Pokemon Essentials.
Pokemon Essentials, yeah, I've never heard of that. I don't even heard of what's the Action Replay?
Well, Action Replay's for official games.
Yeah, that's for just mucking about on them, isn't it?
Yeah, whereas Pokemon Essentials, do you know, are you familiar with RPG Maker?
No, I'm not actually.
Alright, it's a piece of software that, the one I know is RPG Maker XP, which is really old by today's standards, but it's still pretty powerful for what it is, and mostly preset assets for just stock high fantasy kind of RPGs, but you can do so much with it. You can put in your own assets, your own art, your own music, and it's a pre-built game engine that you can just build on top of. Granted, I've never made anything good with it. I've made things that are my own fucking around, but still, it's just to play around with. And there was also one thing that I am still to this day proud of, as stupid as it is, the April Fool's Pokemon and Canthet fan game, where I composed the soundtrack for it. I wrote a song called Endless Power, which was about the legendary mech Pokemon.
Oh god.
I believe I've shown you that before, haven't I, Stephen? It was the same thing, 3 chords on an acoustic guitar with just really stupid arsepool lyrics about the legendary Pokemon being a giant ass mech, giant ass mech all over you, universe in my chest, endless power. I'm still proud of that because it's legitimately terrible, but I'm proud of it. I know I should hate myself for it, but that was 5 years ago now, Christ. But yeah, that we had all kinds of intentional bad game design in that because it was an April Fool's thing. And there was a dungeon where we had a ludicrous encounter rate. Every step would be a wild encounter. Oh god. Also things all the maps, whenever you encounter a trainer, you'd beat them, and I'd just use a bog standard erase event command, which is very amateur mistake instead of a switch. And what they'd do is, if you leave that particular room then come back, the guy had respawned and he'd fight you again. And there were also things a lot of it was very in-jokey, but one of the fan Pokemon I made was called My Original Character. And he had a striking resemblance to Shadow the Hedgehog, except the top of his head was blue rather than red. And yeah.
Just like to point out how you've managed to come across a Cypher and a Chansey with relative ease.
Safe stakes.
And you caught that Cypher with ease.
If only just noticed throughout this entire playthrough that I've been catching things with relative ease. Yeah, so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to show off as many of the cool things from the Safari Zone as I can in one run. And that's why I am manipulating the RNG a bit, just to make sure they all pop up.
So one of my favourite things in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire was the fact that I think experience from Pokemon is based on how much health they've got. I think. And Blissey gives out the most experience. So what was done was because of the secret bases, what people had set up were teams of 6 level 100 blisses. And this made it incredibly easy for people to go in and level up their teams, because they would also give the blissies a crap moveset.
That's actually pretty smart, to be honest. I'm surprised they let you get experience from that, because they don't let you get experience from like link cable battles and link cable battles. What the fuck decade am I in? But from battling your friends
online.
And that, yeah, I don't think you can get them. But like, it's interesting they do that.
I think it's more to do with the fact that the secret bases are just out there on the overworld. So
true, I guess. Kangaskhan. I'm not sure what to make of Kangaskhan.
I like it, but it's so odd that it's carrying around its child. They always have a child.
Yeah, that was one thing back during the camp that we were going to have Kangaskid as like a pre-evolution to Kangaskhan, which would have sort of solved that issue a bit. But I'm wondering, how long does the Kangaskid stay within the Kangaskhan? Is there going to be a phase where a Kangaskid has a Kangaskid? Because then you could have like, you know, like the Russian dolls, but Kangaskhan in each other's pouches.
Plus there's the fact that every time you hatch a Kangaskhan, it's already got a kid with it.
Yeah.
How?
It's a baby parent. It's like being in fucking East London or something.
It's like, I've probably already said about this before, but the theory of Cubone and Kangaskhan being related.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that. I don't think you've talked about it yet, so tell us about that soon.
It's just, I think in a couple of the recent games, you will find Cubones and Kangaskhan's in the same areas, because in Sun and Moon, you can find them in the same area. But Kangaskhan's a lot rarer to get hold of. I was just grinding up my team at the time, just before I fought the fire guy there. And I just came across, I was like, oh, it's odd that these two are in the same area and Kangaskhan's so early on.
So what you're getting at is, if you need a ground type for your team, then find a Kangaskhan and kill its mother.
Yes.
Gotcha. I can do this.
Make sure the skull is hollowed out as well.
Yeah.
Because if you just take the baby Kangaskhan, it's not going to work until you've taken that skull.
Yeah. Anyway, I just used a candy on Wartortle, so now I have Blastoise and Venusaur.
It's a rather dynamic pose.
It is. I really like that sprite because it looks like it's ready to fight, doesn't it?
One of the irritating things for me with Blastoise in recent games is that its cannons aren't what I expected them to be. I always thought of Blastoise's cannons being like rather short, stumpy, but large in radius. But in the recent games, they're really long and slim.
Well, I suppose that might just be like an evolution of the art style, really, more than anything.
I always thought that the larger ones were more intimidating.
Yeah, it kind of makes him look more of a threat, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I suppose like they've got Magmortar covering that ground now,
especially since Blastoise is so big.
Yeah, he's a big fucking turtle.
And then you've got these slim cannons on him. It's like, that kind of clashes with its design a bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Like, I've never noticed it enough to distract me, but I can see where you're getting at.
Fortunately, Mega Blastoise fixes that with just having one gigantic cannon on its back. And the wrist-mounted ones. I love Mega Blastoise.
Yeah, Mega Blastoise
Bit
is
of an
pretty
odd
cool.
chin thing going there with that blade sort of thing.
Don't look down. You cut your chest.
It just looks down, stabs himself in the neck.
Bless him.
What is Kangaskhan's evolution? Like Mega.
Oh, Mega Kangaskhan is that the baby jumps out of the pouch and fights.
Yeah.
Is that basically it?
Yeah, the baby is essentially evolving.
Oh, yeah. What, so he looks the same and everything?
It doesn't look exactly the same, it looks more matured, like it's just grown up.
Oh.
And it was broken in X and Y. Its ability was parental bond, and in one go, Kangaskhan will hit twice, but the second time will be half the damage. Unfortunately, in X and Y, they introduced the move Power Up Punch, which is 40 damage, and it increases the attack of the Pokemon by half each time you use it. But because of Parental Bond, you're doubling your attack each time you use it.
That's right.
Well, I say doubling, it adds the original stat on top of it each time you use it. So, use that 3 times, you've maximised Kangaskhan's attack. And it could learn Fake Out, so it could flinch the opponent right away, but it would do it twice. Then there's Sucker Punch, so even if the opponent's faster than you, you'll be able to get in a hit earlier. And it is just so strong. But in Sun and Moon, they reduced it to 1/4 damage each time.
Yeah, that sounds a bit more workable at least. Like, you still do have the potential abuse of flinching moves, because you could alternate that, couldn't you? You could make sure that it uses a flinch move on the second one. Can you spam Protect with it like that?
I don't think so, but there's not much of a point with Kangaskhan.
Not really. I'm just thinking that that's possibly a little loophole for the Protects, like lowering the usability each time, because technically it would be every second attack, wouldn't it? Function, protect sort of deal. But Protect is only really that useful in double battles, really, come to think of it, because there was one strategy that I think his name's Dakin from Pokemon Colosseum used, where he would alternate one of his Pokemon using Earthquake and the other one using Protect. Like, they would just alternate each turn. Which is actually fucking genius as a move, because then you can spam Earthquake while keeping your own guy safe.
Protect can be useful in single battles sometimes as well, because Pokemon with abilities like Speed Boost. Speed Boost increases the speed of the Pokemon by half each turn.
Oh,
so it's quite useful for a Pokemon like Sharpedo, because say you want to Mega Evolve it, but its speed isn't the best, and you want to make good use of that Mega Sharpedo, start out by using Protect, so it gets the speed boost, and it's protected from a Move Plus, because Sharpedo can be fragile sometimes. Then just Mega Evolve.
Oh, so I do kind of get it.
You've got the speed, and then you've got that massive attack boost afterwards from the Mega Evolution. So
you just sort of use it like as a delay tactic, just to let you power up. Yeah, I can see that. But
and there's other ones like Yan Mega and Yan Ninjask.
What do they do?
They've got speed boost as well.
Oh, right, yeah. Yan Mega's a kind of ugly-looking design, isn't it?
Yeah, but it evolves through ancient power, and I think that's meant to emphasise the fact that this is... I think it's trying to harken back to like how bugs in the past were meant to be huge.
Maybe. I don't know. Like,
it does look quite intimidating, so...
I guess, yeah. Like, when I say a Pokemon's ugly, I don't mean that as a
bad
nah, because sometimes ugly Pokemon are still endearing, aren't they?
Yeah, Mega not so much, but...
yeah.
What does it look like?
It's a big, ugly dragonfly.
Yeah, I think Yanma, bit bigger, really sort of derpy.
Yeah, dark green. Just a darker colour scheme in general.
Pretty much, yeah, and it's got the big bug eyes, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's the best bug type? Is it that, like, is a moth in it? I can't remember. What's that moth called?
Venomoth?
No, it's like this.
Volcarona. Is it a fire type?
It's a later gen, I think it's fire type, yeah.
Volcarona is really powerful.
What about Genesect?
Genesect also really powerful, because I love the fact that in black and white its signature move Technoblast, it only did 80 damage, and it could change type. But the thing is, though, it could learn Thunderbolt, Ice Beam and Flamethrower, so they were even better than Technoblast. The only move it was worth using was the water version of Technoblast. And to be honest, they've increased the damage of Technoblast now. I think it's 120 damage.
Oh, so it's
with 100 accuracy.
Competitive now, yeah.
So there's no point in Flamethrower, Thunderbolt and Ice Beam. But you might as well still use the water version, so you've got that coverage against fire types because of being a bug steel type.
Yeah, you want to cover that up. I don't get why they basically reused Mewtwo's plot for Gen 6, though. Because he has basically the same origins, wasn't he? But Team Plasma had artificially created this Pokemon.
Yeah, and we still don't know what Pokemon it was made from.
No, that's one of the things that they're never going to answer, are
Yeah. I mean, people like to say that it's Kabutops.
It's similar sort of shape.
It's got a similar shape, and both their Pokedex entries say they're from 300 million years ago.
Yeah, that exact point in time, that's like a date on his birth certificate.
Yeah.
Now, time to finish the group. Fuck yeah!
The best one.
Yes, leaving the best one till last.
I don't care if people say he's overrated. It's Charizard.
He's fucking Charizard, don't he? Chris, please tell me you agree with us.
Yeah, I agree.
Good. You were being a bit quiet there. I was getting worried. I was thinking, like, does he not worship the Lord Charizard?
He's quietly judging us, just like that overrated piece of shit. Taking all the glory from Venusaur.
I can kill you, fucking Venusaur. Yeah, I'm ending the part with that. Bye.